Hey everybody, welcome to the CMS Opendata Workshop 2022. On this lesson, we'll be going through the cloud pre-exercises, okay? So I will leave this link down at the description. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to start running realistic physics analysis in the cloud using Kubernetes. If you are not familiar with Argo or kubectl, I recommend you go through the introduction and getting started with Argo and kubectl. I will go ahead and start going through the demo, okay? All right, so I assume that you already have a Google Cloud account created. If you don't, please create one right now. When you do, we're gonna go over here to navigation menu, Kubernetes engine, and clusters. Okay, we'll hit create. We will select GKE standard. Okay, first of all, we got to give it a name. We're going to give it a name test. You can change the zone, and every zone has a specific pricing, which does not vary by much, but if you wish, you can change your zone. I will leave everything as it is. I will go to default pool. I will put one number of nodes. I will enable auto scaler, and it will go from 1 to 4, as we can see in the lesson that we already have described over here. Okay, this is 0 to 4. Now we're going to go to nodes, and we're going to click on the E2 standard 4. Okay, you can pretty much pick whichever one you want. And really, the only difference it's going to make is it will either be faster or slower. And mostly what's going to happen is it will take a longer time to create. I usually use the E2 standard 4, and it really hasn't given me any problems. Okay, so now what we have to do is wait for it to get created. This usually takes around from 3 to 5 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer. So I will skip the video until this is ready. And we're back. Okay, so our cluster is created. So what we're gonna do now is connect to our cluster. What we're gonna do is select the connect action, and we're gonna run in Cloud Shell. Okay, now I'm going to put this almost in full screen, and what we're going to do is connect to our project and hit enter. Perfect. On this side, it might ask you to authorize, so go ahead and click authorize. Okay, so on the next part of our lesson, what we're going to do is install Argo. Perfect. So what we're going to do is simply copy and paste these commands. It will simply create a namespace called Argo and import all the necessary requirements. Perfect. To clean screen, you can use Control L. Okay, so we're going to download the binary. We're going to unzip it. We're going to make the binary executable, and we're going to move the binary to the path. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is, first we're going to skip this. If you do not have your CMS user, you don't need one to do this, and we're going to check if it's created. So Argo version. Yes, we have Argo version 2.11.1. We're going to go ahead and patch it. And to do so, first we're going to need to create a file called patch workflow controller config.map.yaml. We can do this with nano. We can copy and paste from this code section, paste it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and exit, Control X, save yes, and enter. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and run the kubectl patch to apply this configuration file. Perfect, it's patched. So to see if the installation was successful, what we're gonna do is run a simple test workflow. Hello world. So you can simply copy all of this and paste it over here and hit enter. So what we're gonna see is this yellow dot over here, which means it's still running. When the status is successful, we're gonna see a green dot. That means that it's ready to go. So this usually takes a little while. Go ahead and wait. Perfect. As you can see, we got a green check and our hello world. This is our workflow, which means it was successful. Now, you can go ahead and delete the last workflow with this command, since you might be getting charged if you do not, if you have one running in the background. So I deleted the latest, and if I run this command again, you will simply see that there are no more workflows before that one. Okay. So this means you can make your current namespace to Argo always, but I'm not going to do that. Okay. This is the new section. We're going to go ahead and create a storage volume. We can go ahead and do this with this command. Okay, so it says that the GCE NFS disk 1 already exists. This is because I already ran a workflow before this one, and I've been running workflows the whole week, so this doesn't really matter. What we can go ahead and do is import the NFS server.yaml and apply it. Perfect. Our application controller has been created. We can go ahead and get our second configuration file, which is the service configuration. We're going to go ahead and import it, and we have our NFS server created. Perfect. Now, this section, we're going to go ahead and get our cluster IP. To do this, you can simply just run this command, and it will give you your IP. You can get the configuration file. Okay. Perfect. So if we do ls, we see that we have our persistent volume.yaml. What we're going to do is we're going to edit this file and input our IP, which is unique for every single one of us. So to do this, we can do vim 003, enter. To edit this, we press I. Okay. We delete all of this and we paste our direction right here. To exit, Control C. 2 points, WQ to write and quit, and this is ready to be applied. So we're going to apply this. Okay, our persistent volume NFS1 is created. We're going to get all our persistent volumes, and as we can see right here, this is the one we just created. It's 10 seconds old. Perfect. Now we're going to get our persistent volume claim with this one and go ahead and apply it. Okay, it's applied. To check if this was successful, you can run this, and as you can see, the age is 7 seconds. All right. Now an Arco workflow could look like this. To do this, what we're going to do is we're going to create a file called argo workflow volume.yaml. Okay, so we're going to do nano name. We're going to copy all of this, paste it, and since our NFS storage volume was named NFS1, we should change the number over here to 1. If you did use another number over here, then you will have to change that number on every single one of these files, configuration files. But since I'm using the one from the lesson, I will go ahead and change it to 1. Okay, so we get out of here, we save. All right, so we submit it and we list it. Okay, let's see how that goes. Okay, so we submitted it and we listed it, and as we can see, this is still running. Now it takes a couple minutes for this to completely finish. Let's see, a couple seconds, I'm sorry. And as we can see, it is succeeded. This is the same one that we just ran before with this command. All right, so we listed it. Now we're gonna check the logs with this command over here. What we're gonna do is change this ID number at the end, which is different for each one of us. For me, it's 2G, 5HG, 2G5. Okay, and as we can see, we have a successful output. Okay, great. Now let's get the output file. First, to do this, what we need to do is create this configuration file. We do this with nano. We paste the name that we want it to have, and we paste the content. Obviously, we change the number to 1 and we save it. Yes, enter. We apply both of these. Okay, and it says that the file created by the job will be in here. So let's access this with cd path ls, and as we see, we have test txt. So let's put cat test txt. This is the output. Okay, perfect. Let's clean all this and let's go to the next part. Okay, accessing files via HTTP. All right, so we're gonna first patch the config of the web server with this. Okay, it already exists, but because I already created it before, all right, it should be created for you guys. We're gonna prepare to deploy the file server. Perfect. And we're going to adjust the number. And we should also adjust the version to APPS version 1. All right, so let's deploy. Let's change this one. We can change this with vim name. Perfect. We're going to change this to apps version 1. And we're going to change the number over here. It is possible that by the time you see this, this is already configured for you and this is updated. But if not, then you know what to do. So we get out of here. 2 points WQ, and we apply and expose the port as a load balancer. Okay, so copy and paste these commands. kubectl get service. There we go. Now we have a pending external IP. This can also take a couple minutes, so let's go ahead and wait. Okay, so I've checked it and it's running. It's been around 3 minutes. If we run it again, we will have an external IP. What we do with this external IP is we open a new tab, we paste it, and we should get this message, hello from NFS, okay? This is mostly from the image, which is the Nginx image used in this configuration, as you can see over here in this container. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is delete the index HTML to enable file browsing. To do this, first we're gonna run this command. Okay, so delete this. Okay, and we're gonna delete the index with this command. To do so, please change this with this tag we have over here. This tag will be unique to every single one of you. So go ahead and delete that. We paste that, and this should delete it. Perfect. Now, if we go back over here and reload this, what we have is the index of and all our files. In the last one, we created a test.txt, and this is the output, as you can see over here. So as we can see, everything is working perfectly. Now, let's jump into Argo GUE. Now, if you want to delete your external IP, you can go ahead and do this, because now anybody can access these files all around the world. Okay, with Argo GUE, what we're going to first do is get the services, and then we're going to forward the deployment into these ports 2746. Okay, so we're going to copy this and paste it. Okay, so what's happening here is we're forwarding it to this port over here. We can check that with this command over here. So if we open a new one to not interrupt this forwarding, what we're going to do over here is we're going to paste this command. We're going to continue. We're going to press yes. And we're going to go back and press quit. It's mostly, and are you sure you want to quit? Yes. Okay. This will enable the handling connection for 2746, which means this should be already ready to go. We're going to patch it, patch the service. It is patched. We're going to get the services to get the external IP, and this is pending. So it is now creating an external IP through the port 2746 for us to be able to visualize our Argo GUE. This will enable us to look at the workflows that are running inside our Argo namespace, and many more options that, if you wish, you can go and look them up, however fits best for you. So what we're going to do is first we're going to add HTTPS. Okay, we're going to copy that. We're going to put this address right here, the external IP, and we're going to look at it in the port 2746. Okay, so it's HTTPS, your address, which is unique for everyone, and the port which it was forwarded to, which is 2746 by default. You're going to go to advanced and proceed to this website. X here, continue. And there we go. We have accessed Argo GUI. Finally, what we're going to do is clean up, which is absolutely delete everything that we created. Before we do that, remember to delete the file server with the command that was specified over here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and delete that. Perfect, it's deleted. Okay, we're going to delete all the workflows that we have been doing. So this takes a minute. Over here, what we can do is also cancel this with Control C. Delete Argo latest, delete Argo latest. Okay. This is deleted. Perfect. We're gonna delete the namespace. We're gonna delete all the files. This is normal. It usually takes a couple seconds to delete the Argo namespace. While it's doing that, you can go ahead and delete the files. And we don't have any directories. Let's see. Okay, these are from default. So we don't need to delete any directory. We can go ahead and delete our disk if we like. This is still deleting. While this is doing that, I can go ahead and try to delete this persistent disk. It is deleted. Perfect. And I will proceed to delete the whole cluster. Okay. I do a Control C. Okay. Okay, remove all. Okay, it's all deleted. I'm going to close my shell. I'm going to go to Actions. I'm going to press delete. I'm going to put the name of my cluster to confirm the deletion. And it is starting to delete. Okay, this also takes around a couple minutes, so you can go ahead and close this. Doesn't really matter. If you reload this, it should not work because we deleted everything. As you can see, it's loading and it shouldn't work. The Argo GUI also shouldn't work, and that has been creating and building up all the tools that you will need to eventually run realistic physics analysis.